All right, greetings everybody, and welcome to week number 9. That is right, week number 9 of your 7314 class, which is your reference class. As always, I'm your professor, Dr. J.S.K. Austin, and what we are going to do this week is a quick state of the course update, and then I am going to actually just do kind of something weird. It's kind of this thing where I record a check-in video telling you what's going on in other videos in this module, okay? Or not other videos in this module, but rather other videos and other materials in this announcement. Sorry about that. So what's going to happen is the LibGuide is your next major assignment now that you have turned in your Wikipedia edit assignments. And because that Wikipedia assignment has that huge rubric and it freaks people out at first, I do a basically, I record a check-in video just letting you all know that what I want you all to do is look at a previous check-in video, which will be linked into this announcement as well. And that previous check-in announcement, what I want you all to realize is that when I recorded that one, it was a game changer because previously I would record like new check-in videos related to LibGuides and everything, and sometimes the check-in video would make people more nervous about it or whatever the case may be. And then this particular semester that I recorded this check-in video that I'm linking below, what happened was I would that particular semester I recorded that check-in video and the students actually responded very well and seemed like they were less intimidated by the incoming assignments. So I was like, okay, what I'm going to do is probably just recycle that particular check-in video from now on because it explains to the students some of the things they need to do, and it also eases their nerves a little bit. And once their nerves are eased a bit, then they tend to do better on the assignment. Okay, so I'm going to break all that down and say a few things, but at the end of the day, this check-in video is going to get you all introduced a little bit to the other materials in this, again, in this check-in video announcement. And you can look at those materials. You've got plenty of time to look at those materials because of when the actual LibGuide is due. So you can look at those materials before you go into creating your LibGuide or starting your LibGuide if you so choose. Also, please know that I will be doing the LibApps logins. I'll be creating those this week. So be on the lookout for those, okay? I'll be creating those this week. They'll be going to your inbox. Not your Canvas inbox. They'll be going to your student email inbox. So be checking there. Check your student email or your Mizzou account, whatever is the corresponding email that you have for this class. Be checking that this week, okay? Because you're going to want to go ahead and accept your login for LibApps before the link expires, okay? So be on the lookout for that and accept your invitation and create your login and all that once you see the invitation. Check spam folders as well. But let's get into that state of the course up. Okay, so here's what we've got going on with the upcoming assignments and upcoming things that you need to turn in for this class. First of all, we will have, well, let me go back and just say the LibGuide is going to be due on November the 17th, so you've got a little bit over a month, okay? So I am recording this check-in video on October the 14th. The LibGuide is due on November the 17th, so you've got over a month to do it, just over a month. And so that should be plenty of time. One thing that I want you all to realize is that once you are actually in professional practice, you will be expected to be able to create LibGuides in much shorter than a month's time. And when I say much shorter than a month's time, what I'm talking about is potentially you need to have your LibGuides created within a day or two once you actually get your professional practice with them, okay? So know that I'm giving you a month to do something that you will probably do in 2 or 3 days once you're in professional practice, but you got to start somewhere. And that's why you are getting this whole month to do it, okay? Now, again, I do want to just show you all, yet again, that the rubric on this LibGuide assignment is long. I'm going down it right now. As you can see, it's 25 total points. So it's even more points than your final. I'm gonna create a 7314 Fall 2024 group. And that's where you're going to place things, but it hasn't been created yet, but it will be created by the time you get your LibApps logins. And so familiarize yourself with this rubric. That's one of the things that you're going to need to do in order to be successful on this assignment. Familiarize yourself with this rubric and with everything else here in the prompt. I do also want to remind you all at this moment that you do not have to, I repeat, you do not have to pick a scholarly or serious subject for this. You can do your LibGuide on, I won't say any topic, but most topics that you can think of will be okay. And if you want to run it by me to see, okay, will this be acceptable? And I'll be able to tell you, well, that might be too specific or too general and you need to narrow it or broaden it. You can ask me that if you want to by email, but I will say again, most of the topics that you all are going to think of or come up with to do your LibGuide assignment on will be perfectly fine. So you can do it on, again, for some reason, gardening is always really popular, but you can do things like gardening. You can do things like, I mean, again, your home state, your hometown. You can do, a type of music you like or something like that. You can do your favorite type of art. Things are endless. Your favorite, it just has to, the main thing when you are picking your topic is, I'm going to go back to this right here. You need to be able to find something where you can get all of these source types. So you will need one electronic or print dictionary, one electronic or print encyclopedia, also a directory, an index, full text database, geographic resource, biographical resource, and government information resource, okay? And I'm here for that as well. So if you all are having a hard time finding one of these types of resources, again, that's when you email me and I will help you locate the type of source that you need, okay? So throughout this LibGuide process, if you do need me involved, don't be hesitant to reach out, okay? I'll come back to the LibGuide, but let's see some of the other things that are going on with our state of the course update. So we're going to go actually back out here. And some other things that you need to be aware of is that you will have your next discussion board prompt will be due on that same day. So I know it's 2 things due on the same day, but you have over a month to do them. So you will do discussion prompt number 6. That will be due on November the 17th. So your next discussion board prompt is not due for a whole nother month, as well as the LibGuide assignment being not due for a whole other month. And then the last thing that I want to say as far as state of the course updates is that we will have our final sync session on October the 29th, which is going to be a Tuesday, the Tuesday right before Halloween, which will be that Thursday. And we are going to have a new guest speaker. So Lisa Kincaid is no longer, who I said was originally going to speak to us. She is no longer with Wolfner Library, and so replacing her will be, all right, sorry about that. So yes, it will be Jamie Livingston who will be speaking to us about the services to the disabled or the differently abled. By the way, I don't really want to get into, I can't win for losing when it comes to the nomenclature on that or the verbiage. So if I say the disabled, then I get a bunch of students asking me, why didn't you say the differently abled? And when I say the differently abled, I have students asking me, why didn't you say the disabled? That's what people prefer. So I'm just like, okay. Yeah, no, it's one of those things. It's kind of like some people prefer within my culture. Some people prefer Black. Some people prefer African American. And it's kind of like, what do you do? Which is right. You know what I'm saying? So I say the disabled or differently abled because I don't know what the preference is. All I can do is if you tell me your preference, I can abide by your preference, but there's no blanket preference on that. So I'm going to take an L either way, whether I'm saying disabled or differently abled, okay? But yeah, Jamie Livingston, she will do a wonderful presentation related to Wolfner Library and some of the services that they offer to the disabled or differently abled. And the takeaway that I want you all to take from that particular sync session is that I want you all to just, well, that's the thing. It's a big deal. We are all about reducing access barriers, right? And some of the people who have the biggest access barriers are the people who have disabilities. And so I am very thankful that Wolfner comes and speaks to us about the disabilities that people have, as well as the different ways that people navigate around those disabilities and the way libraries help people navigate around their disabilities so that they can receive and consume information the way everybody else does, okay? So that's pretty much it for the state of the course update. Now let's go ahead and get into some of the other things related to this this LibGuide assignment. Hold on. Okay, so a few other notes that I want to mention related to this LibGuide assignment that I want you all to just be aware and conscious of, because if you're aware and conscious of these things, I think, again, it's going to be less stressful for you and you're going to enjoy the assignment more. And that is what I want you to do. I do want you all to enjoy this assignment. I want you all to learn from this assignment, and I want you all to learn how to do LibGuides. But learning from the assignment is not the only thing you're tasked with here. I do want you all to, again, just enjoy. I want you all to feel that learning and growing within librarianship can be fun, okay, or enjoyable. All right. So one of the things that I want to let you all know is that First of all, this is not something that you should try to be a perfectionist on. So as you saw, that was a long rubric and it's a 25-point assignment. But what you need to realize is that very few people actually ever get 25 points on this assignment, okay? And there is a reason for that. So the assignment is really gauging how well you can do a professional level LibGuide. That's what the rubric is kind of gauging. However, you all are not professionals. You all are students. So what I'm doing, and you might say it's unfair, but this is the learning process, and trust me, it works. What I do works because of how the rubric is tailored. But the thing is, again, this is a 25-point assignment, but you're likely not going to get all 25 of those points because as a student, you are going to make student mistakes that a professional is not going to make. You're going to get docked for those student mistakes that a professional is not going to make. However, usually the people, even after they make, the students, even after they make those mistakes and everything, and make a few handful of mistakes that students will make when they're first creating LibGuides, even if you make a handful of mistakes on this LibGuide assignment, you're still probably likely to get either a 22 or 23 out of 25. So usually the average score on the LibGuide is around a 23. And with the average score being around the 23, what that means is that even when people have made student mistakes, that I can then show them in the LibGuide, okay, you made in the rubric, okay, you made this mistake, this is why you got dot points and that sort of thing. But you're conscious of the mistakes that you made now, and you're not going to make them again. However, if you only miss 2 points, like let's say you get on that class average and you get a LibGuide score that is 23 out of 25, you're still in a great position to get an A in the class because most of you really have only lost 1 or 2 points through the process at the most, through the process of going through the class right now. So if you only lost 1 or 2 points so far, and then you lose, let's say you've lost 2 points so far, then you lose 2 points on the LibGuide, but then you don't lose any more points. You get a perfect grade on the semester-long project, and you get perfect grades on the, on the sync session and on the discussion board prompts from here on. Losing 4 points will still get you an A in the class, okay? That finishes you with a 96, and you still have an A in the class, okay? So even losing 2 points, which most of you will probably lose 1 or 2 points on this assignment, losing 2 points will still have you in a great position to get an A, but it will also put you in a position where you're getting helpful feedback from me of what you did wrong, and you will be able to correct those things when you actually go into professional practice. So there is a method to the madness, okay? And from here, I'm going to be going through basically just like point by point by point of some different other things that I want to mention before I turn you loose to look at the other materials. So the next thing that I do want to mention, and another point, is that you are allowed to, and you can show your colleagues or whatever, your coworkers or whatever, you can show them this, if they don't believe you. So it is actually not cheating to have somebody help you with the LibGuide as long as you are the one actually doing the LibGuide. Here's what I mean by that. So, if you have a coworker, let's say you work in a library and you have a coworker who is willing to help you put a LibGuide together. You've got a coworker that's like, oh, LibGuide, so that sounds fun. Yeah, I can actually help you put one together. If you have a coworker who fits that criteria, what you can do is what you need to do is be at the computer yourself. But if a coworker is willing to walk you through the process, you can have the coworker kind of sit beside you and walk you through the creation of your LibGuide. If you want to block out an hour of time with a coworker to show you how to do that, I am actually okay with that. So you can show your coworker this video and say, hey, my professor actually said that we are allowed to get help and you can walk me through this process. So here's the thing. Here's the reason why it's okay. This is discovery, and the way that you're going to learn how to do the LibGuides is not by me showing you step by step how to do it. You are going to go out there and you are going to, as a librarian, find the resources that can help you with that. And that will include tutorials, which will be included in this course announcement. But then there will also be tutorials that you just Google and find on YouTube or Venmo or somewhere else like that, okay? So using tutorials, also reading things about LibGuides online, so forth and so on. And the reason I say that you can also tap coworkers for help or librarians that you know for help, as long as you are in the driver's seat, is that I don't see much of a difference between learning from a tutorial, watching somebody do it on a tutorial, or learning from, you know, having somebody by your side as you do it yourself. Either way, you're just kind of, in my opinion, you're kind of hearing what other people are telling you to do, and then you are turning those instructions into actually doing the assignment, okay? So that's why I don't care whether or not you have a coworker actually walk you through the process and teach you how to do it, or if you learn how to do it through tutorials. The main thing I want you to do is learn how to do it. But again, the main thing I want you to do is learn how to do it. So that does mean that if I do find out that you had somebody do it for you, or you copied, because there is a way to also copy LibGuides, and if I found out that you copied somebody's LibGuide and turned it in, or that you had somebody do one for you or something like that, yes, that will be cheating, and yes, that will be you getting a 0 on the assignment and getting reported for cheating. So use this as an opportunity to learn. Do not use this as an opportunity to just kind of skirt the process, but know that it is okay to learn from other librarians, and that's what you're going to be doing throughout your whole career. Another point that I need to make. So, when looking at the video, actually, let me go back into this. So there is a video component. So again, there's a video component to this. And so another thing that I do want you all to pay attention to, because people lose points on this every semester, and I don't want you all, I'm hoping to get a 100% nobody doing this time around, but we'll see what happens. Your video tutorial has to be less than 3 minutes long, and I say it's right there in the LibGuide. It's right there in the rubric, and I'm saying it right here, and I'm going to say it again in the course announcement. The video is supposed to be 3 minutes or less. Now, what I am going to do is give a grace period, so that if it's maybe 15 seconds above the 3 minutes, fine, I'm not going to count down. So you do have a grace period. It's really supposed to be 3 minutes or less. But if your tutorial video ends up being 3 minutes and 15 seconds or something like that, I'm not going to count off. However, every single semester I have somebody who, even when that is in the rubric, they turn around and they put together like a 6-minute tutorial video. Do not do that. Your tutorial video does need to be 3 minutes or less. So that's another thing that I want you all to not overlook. All right, and some other things that I do want to run you all through. Another thing that I do not want you all to do, please do not password protect your LibGuides before they are graded. Every semester I do have students do this as well, even though I ask them not to. So really, when I'm grading the LibGuides, as you can see, that is a huge rubric. So this is a very involved process with grading these LibGuides. But once I get in the flow, then it's like, okay, boom, 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 I'm grading, I'm hitting this rubric, I'm hitting this rubric with everybody's LibGuide. And then all of a sudden I get to somebody who password protected their LibGuide, and I don't have their password. How do they think I'm going to grade it? Well, I can't, because I can't access it because it's password protected. So what I have to do is then get off my rhythm and start playing email tag with you. Hey, can you please password protect your LibGuide? I've got to wait for you to do it, and that's going to throw off my rhythm and that sort of thing, and it's going to slow down my process of getting all the LibGuides graded out and back to you. And I know that you want your grades as soon as you possibly can get them. One of the ways to get your grade as fast as you can possibly get it is by not password protecting the LibGuide until after you have gotten your grade. Do not password protect your LibGuide until after you have gotten your grade. I cannot see it if it is password protected. Another piece that I want to mention is this. The LibGuide is a very good assignment, probably one of the better assignments to include in your ePortfolio for your student learning outcome or SLO number 4. Again, this is student learning outcome or SLO number 4, okay? So one thing that I would recommend to you all is to save the link to your LibGuide. Your LibGuide is not going to go away. So it's also something that you can include in your application materials for library jobs, by the way. So your LibGuide doesn't go away, or at least it doesn't go away right away. It sticks around for a few years. I've still got some LibGuides I know from students that I had in 2019, 2020. So I don't know exactly when they go away, but I know they don't go away right away, if that makes sense, okay? So with that said, I do suggest that you all hold on to your LibGuide or your LibApps, your LibApps login information. I really strongly suggest that you hold on to that. And then in addition to holding on to your login information, I recommend that you keep the link to your LibGuide available to you so that you can include it in application materials for librarianship jobs, as well as include it in your e-portfolio for student learning outcome number 4. Now, there are actually all the assignments in this class pretty much count for student learning outcome number 4, not just this one, but the LibGuide is a popular one for people to include. So you may want to, again, keep your link for that. Okay, and there's really only one final sort of thing that I need to go over, one more thing that I need to go over really, and that is going to be that, and this is something of a minor point, so this is definitely the thing to save for the end. So this is the thing that I saved for the end, and that is, I do have students who kind of get a little nervous about here's the thing, LibApps is not actually connected to Canvas. Excuse me, okay, they're not talking to each other, right? So when you actually complete your LibGuide and publish it, there is nothing that happens on the Canvas end to say that you turn in an assignment, right? So I do have students who very appropriately are nervous, and they're just like, hey, well, it's saying that I have a missing assignment, and I actually did turn in the assignment. I published the LibGuide. Why isn't Canvas saying that I published the LibGuide? And again, it's because Canvas and LibApps don't talk to each other. So if you are worried that Canvas is showing an assignment missing, here's what you can do, and this actually does help me as well as helping you. So what you can do if you, now I'm not going to actually use a real, actually let me just Google, I'll Google it. Okay, so now you're not going to do this, but this is what I'm doing. All right, so here's a LibGuide, right? So if you find yourself in a situation where you're like, hey, Canvas is saying I didn't turn the assignment in and I turned it in, and you want Canvas to stop saying the assignment is missing, here's what you can do. You can actually go to, where am I going? You can actually go to assignment. Sorry, I'm going to the wrong thing. I can go here too. But what you can do, and it's showing on my test student end that everything's missing. But let's say that, okay, LibGuide. And let's say that that thing is showing that it's missing, you didn't turn it in. What you can do is you can actually just submit as a web URL. And then click submit assignment, I'm sorry. And then that's what's going to come up. And after that comes up, Canvas will no longer show you that the assignment is missing. That link will be there. And then also once I get to you in my grade book, it will actually just show that link, and then I just push that link, and then your LibGuide is right there, and then I grade it from there. So it works easier for everybody. For those who actually don't do that, what I end up doing is having to go back into that folder that I was telling you about, that 7314 Austin Fall 2024 folder. I have to go into that for the ones that I don't have the links to, and then grade the LibGuides from there, which isn't hard, so I'm not complaining if you have to do that, but I'm just saying it actually does work for me as well if you paste the link to your LibGuide into the assignment submission area, okay? So I want you all to be aware of that, and from there, I have spoken enough, and you have a lot of stuff to look at. I really do hope you sped this up, but we're going to leave it at this 24-minute mark. I am Dr. Jace, and what I will say is a LibGuide is a pathfinder. And so when you have a pathfinder, your materials will not vanish without a trace. Jace, trace. I did it all right. I will see you all next week with another check-in video, but we will not have a check-in video the week after next week, because that will be that last week when we will have Jamie Livingston from the Wolfner Library coming to talk to us. Until then, enjoy yourselves and be kind to each other.